Hey, how are you? How you doing? Hey, it's Halloween time. It's October. We are, what the hell is this? It's 6. This is the 6th day of the month of October. And I've been doing these videos every day for the month of October. I will tell you about a different horror movie that you should watch to celebrate Halloween each day for the entire month. And we are day number 6. Yes. So this is October 6th, so this will be the 6th movie I've been talking about. Just some quick videos. What I did was I went into my closet where I keep my Blu-rays and my DVDs and all that shit, and I grabbed a bunch of them. I grabbed 31 discs / Blu-rays or whatever the hell they are, and randomly kind of threw them around, and I'm picking a different one each day to tell you about that you should watch. Because Halloween is the greatest holiday of all time, should be the only holiday ever. And October is the best month ever. So each day you should watch a horror movie. You should watch many horror movies every day of the year. But specifically in October, people like to watch horror movies. So I am doing a horror movie a day through October. So this is horror movie number 6 we're about to get to. Very quickly, please give to my Patreon page. It helps out a lot. Please give to my Patreon page. As little as $3 a month. It's very, very cheap. You'll get some bonus material if you go to Patreon. Check it out now. Please donate. Patreon.com/NickDShow. Patreon.com/NickDShow. My podcast, the Nick D Podcast, is available, RadioMisfits.com. And if you Google the Nick D Podcast, just Google it. It's on every single platform, everywhere. Amazon, Apple, all of them, all of the Spotify, everywhere. So subscribe to the podcast. Again, that's free. New episodes every Tuesday and Friday. We're doing a live version of the podcast at Zany's in Rosemont. Me, Esmeralda, on stage, you in the audience, interacting with us. It's going to be hilarious and funny and entertaining. We've got prizes to give away and special guests. Tickets are on sale now. Go to rosemont.zanys.com. Get your tickets now. Pack the place on Tuesday, November 15th for the live podcast. All right, let's get to horror movie number 6. It's October 6th. Let's see what it is, because I'm randomly kind of grabbing stuff here. Oh. Well. Okay. So, yeah. All right. What am I going to say? What am I going to say about this? It's one of the greatest movies ever made. One of the greatest and most important films ever made. One of the boldest, strongest, most important American films of all time, making a statement about the world that we're in, the country at the time. A bold and amazing horror film, a satire that's brutally funny and brilliant. George Romero, one of the greatest artists that's ever walked the face of the earth, one of the most brilliant writers, one of the best filmmakers, one of the most important American artists to ever walk the world, wrote and directed this. He is the godfather of the modern-day zombie movies. Night of the Living Dead changed everything. There had been zombie movies before, and we knew the term zombie, but the zombies that we all know and love now were invented by George Romero. By the way, zombies aren't fast. Fuck off. They're not fast. Some of those zombie movies with the fast zombies are kind of entertaining. 28 Days Later, which, by the way, they're not zombies in that movie. They're people who are in... I've had to explain this. I don't know how many goddamn times I've had to explain this to people. People are like, yeah, man, the zombies in 28 Days Later are awesome. Well, they're not zombies. Because a zombie dies and then comes back to life. That's a zombie. That's what the definition of a zombie is. The jagoffs running around in 28 Days Later are infected by a disease, by a rage disease. They don't die and come back to life. They never die and come back to life. They're infected with shit. So the fact that people call them zombies makes me fucking... They're not zombies. They're not fucking zombies. And by the way, when they do make movies with zombies and they're fast, that's not what you do. I once asked George Romero about if fast zombies should... He hated fast zombies. He actually, at his merch table, when he would come to conventions, the Flashback Horror Convention, that's where I met. I want to thank Mike and Mia Kurz for giving me the opportunity to meet so many other horror actors, directors, actresses, writers, icons over the years. And I got to know George. I actually got to know him. Interviewed him several times, knew him, spent time with him. Which again is astonishing to me. But anyway, he hated fast zombies. George Romero hated fast zombies. And if you were to say to him fast or slow, he would say slow every time. And if George Romero, let me just say this right now for all the people who defend fast zombies or are like, yeah, fast zombies are awesome. George Romero doesn't like fast zombies. George Romero said that zombies should not be fast. And if you disagree with George Romero, then here's the deal. You're wrong. That's a fact. If George Romero disagrees with something involving zombies, then you're wrong. Fast zombies are not good. He said so. All right. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Dawn of the Dead has been remade with fast zombies by Zack Snyder, which is actually a good remake. I like the remake. I think it's a solid movie. Zack Snyder has gone on to make a bunch of shit, and enjoys making 7-hour DC movies that nobody gives a fuck about, including me. But this movie, Dawn of the Dead, his remake of Dawn of the Dead, pretty solid. Now, it's nowhere near as good as this. It's not even on the same level. It's not even in the same ballpark. It's not even the same city. It's not even in the same country. It's not even the same world, country, state, city, ballpark as this. Not even remotely close. It's two different levels we're talking about. Massive different levels. This is one of the greatest American movies ever made, one of the most important satires of all time, the greatest zombie movie ever made. It is scary, it is funny, it is socially significant, it is poignant. It says more about us as human beings than most movies ever made. And it's never been equaled. Ever. No zombie movie, no American horror satire has ever even remotely come close to this. This is a singular movie. This is one of the greatest movies ever fucking made. And if you've never seen it, don't rent the remake. Don't watch, there was another remake of like some of his other movies. This is the one. This is the granddaddy of them all. A lot of people say that Night of the Living Dead is the best zombie movie ever made. It's certainly the most groundbreaking. It's certainly historically the most important. And it is the first. It is the core beginning of the whole, I am George Romero. I am going to change the face of satire and cinema and horror as we know it. Yes, this is the best one, though. This is his masterpiece as a zombie movie. Now, George Romero, I don't remember if I've grabbed any other Romero movies in here. Maybe I haven't, maybe I did. I just grabbed a bunch of shit from the closet. But George Romero is one of the greatest horror directors of all time. Directed some of the greatest movies of all time. And besides the zombie films that he made, you had Night of the Living Dead, you had Dawn of the Dead, you had Day of the Dead. You had Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead. Those are all his zombie movies, and I love all of them. Survival of the Dead, not great, but still has great stuff in it. And the other ones are all fantastic, and they're great. Particularly Diary of the Dead is one of the most underrated movies, and I think that's in the pile here somewhere to talk about. But he also would do other great films, including some Stephen King stuff. He did Creepshow. He did The Dark Half. He did an amazing movie called Monkey Shines. He did Martin is my favorite non-zombie movie that George Romero made. He did Night Riders and other really Season of the Witch, other really great stuff. He was an amazing filmmaker, a great guy, and this is a landmark movie in the history of horror. It goes without saying. This is oh look, I happen to have a coaster that's on my coffee table. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. So I just randomly grabbed this one. It's October, 6th? Yeah, it's October 6th. And so there you go. But this goes without saying. Not only should you watch this in October, but you should watch it year round. Christmas, fucking pull this thing out and watch it. One of the greatest movies of all time. The best zombie movie ever made. Nothing even comes close. And the movies that do come close, zombie movies that do come close, were made by George Romero. They are showing this later this month at the Regal Cinemas in 3D. I'm going to go. I know that George is laughing his ass off at this because, it was not meant to be seen in 3D. It's obviously a cash grab. Rubinstein, the guy John Rubinstein, who actually owns the rights to the movie, the legalities between George and Rubinstein over the years and what's happened with this movie and how many different DVD. This is like I don't even know where this came from. There are 27 different versions of Dawn of the Dead, different packages, different versions of it that are on DVD, that are on Blu-ray, that are on 4K, all of that stuff. The release of this movie and a lot of the other zombie movies was so incredible. And, so you very rarely get to see this movie on the big screen. But they're re-releasing it in 3D, I guess, as a gimmick to get people to show up, even though you don't need a gimmick for this movie. You don't. Just say, hey, we're showing Dawn of the Dead in a movie theater, and you just go, because that's what you do as a human being with brains. but they're showing it in 3D, and I know that George is laughing or he's spinning in his grave. I don't know. One of the two. It's just this movie was not meant to be seen in 3D, and the fact that it's going to be seen in 3D like in malls, ironic. But anyway, I will go because it's on the big screen. I'll go, and I'll feel bad about it because I don't know. But anyway, it's another chance. I saw it in 3D earlier. I saw it on the big screen earlier this year. The Music Box showed it at midnight. I went both nights to that. So any chance you get to see this movie anywhere, at home, on cable, streaming, on your phone, whatever, anytime you get to see this movie, it's the best time. If you go to see it in the movie theater and it's in 3D, I don't know. It was never meant to be seen that way, but I guess if you want to go, check it out. But anyway, So anyway, October 6th, this is the 6th movie of the month to watch. It goes without saying. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. Not just one of the greatest horror movies ever made, one of the greatest movies ever made. And George Romero is a king. All right, so October 6th, we'll move on to the next one tomorrow. More horror throughout the month.